Hey everybody, welcome back to FSP Forex Stock Predictions. Hope you are all having a great day. Happy 2023. Today is the 4th of January. It is a Wednesday, and we are just going to be going over some order blocks. I know you guys love the whole order block thing. It is a fantastic strategy to use to have inside of your bag of tricks, your bag of tools when trading. However, there are certain ways that different traders use order blocks to their advantage, and I just want to go over how I have been using mine of the past month or so towards the end of last year and what we can look out for heading into this year. So, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Right, guys, so on my screen, we have GBP USD. On the right hand side, we have the 4-hour chart, and on the left hand side, we have the daily chart. Now, when trading order blocks, as most of you will know, some of you may not, I swing trade order blocks on higher time frames. That is how I do it for myself personally. There are a lot of traders that will scalp order blocks on much lower time frames. For me personally, I only trade two different strategies, one of them being order blocks on the 4-hour time frame, the other being my scalping breakout strategy on the DAX 40 and GBP USD. So I only trade three pairs essentially, right? Two of them I use order blocks, and for the same one of them, which is GBP USD, because for my order blocks, I use GBP USD, and for my scalping on the London market open on the 15-minute time frame, I also use GBP USD. I also use the DAX 40 for that. But with order blocks, it's GBP USD as well, and then Euro USD. And that's it, guys. That's how I keep things simple. This is how I have found profitability and consistency within my trading. So I see no point in changing the rules or my trading plan right now, because what I have been doing is working for me, and it has taken me years and years to find that point, right? To get to that point of profitability and consistency. Okay, so having said that, let's look at GBP USD. Now, when we are looking at this chart on the right hand side, the green blocks, as I always say, indicate my winning order block positions, and the pink blocks indicate my losing order block positions, right? My rules are exactly the same. Nothing changes. So if there is a green block or if there is a red block, nothing changed between those two areas, right? Those two positions were entered and exited at the exact same way, using the exact same rules and the exact same trading plan, right? And now let me show you how it is that I go about trading these, okay? So this is, let's find the beginning of December, just so we can go over December. This is the end of November. All right, so the first trade that we got was over here, which was the 13th of December. Now, this is another thing, right? If you are trading order blocks on a higher time frame, you may not get as many entries as you would like, especially with the strategy that I use. I have to wait for the setup. If the setup's not there, I'm not going to trade it. Okay, there are millions of order blocks going on in between these little colorful blocks. There are lots happening. However, I'm not using them. I use mine specifically using the MACD and specifically using this orange moving average. This is how I get into my order block positions. Now, what is it that I look for? So, let's see if we can clean up this chart just a little bit. I'm going to delete this trend line. Let's delete this pink block for now. This was a losing position. Now, it is just as important for me to show you guys losing positions as it is to show you winning positions, because losing positions happen all the time. Okay? If you ever see those Instagram traders and those marketers that say, follow my course, we have a 99% win rate, we win all the time, let me tell you bluntly, they are lying to you. Do not fall for it. The best traders in the world lose all the time. They lose all the time. The thing is that they win even if they win less than they are losing, their risk to reward is higher. Okay, if they win more than they are losing, then their risk to reward is lower. Okay, it's just simple probabilities. And if you have a strict trading plan and approach, and you do the same thing day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, then you will find out if your strategy is profitable or not. The main key to it is to be consistent. So, what do I look for? I look for an area of resistance on a chart. Okay, now it doesn't matter if I see price go through an area of resistance as long as it comes back down into the same trading range, okay, or trading zone. All right, so what we had here is price come up. This was on the 1st of December. It wicked into the zone, bounced off. It came through it again, closed above it, but then could not stay above it and bounced off, came back in, right? So this is officially resistance. Okay, we came up again, we tried to break through it right here, we could not do it, we came off. We tried again, we could not do it, we came off. We tried again, we could not break through it, we came off. We tried again. This last wick, this little red candle right here was my order block, because after that we finally broke above it high enough and strong enough in order to warrant for in order for me to warrant taking a position. So we had our resistance where price could not break through. I'm just going to mark that down. I'm not going to put arrows in all of them, but this line, right? This line here. This was my resistance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. The sixth time being the actual order block candle. Then what I do is I will always highlight this order block candle, like so, from the bottom of the wick to the top of the wick. Right, I will keep it in yellow because that to me is a pending position, and I will wait. Once price has broken through this order block, I wait for it to come back into it to collect the liquidity from this order block. There's a whole bunch of orders within this zone, right? And then I would wait for it to bounce right on out of there. Now, in this case, it did not do what it does sometimes, right? So how would I have traded this? This is exactly what I would do. I would wait for price to come back into the middle of the order block zone, right? My stop loss would be a couple of pips below the bottom area of the order block candle, like so, and I would always target a risk to reward of 1 to 2. Now, some guys will target much higher risk to rewards, much higher, right? 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 10, 1 to 20. And they do this on the lower time frames. They do this on the higher time frames. It all depends how you have back tested your strategy to find what works best for you. The higher the risk to reward, right, the lower amount of times you will win. The lower the risk to reward, the higher amount of times you will win. It's a balancing act, guys. All right. So let's delete this so we can see that this did not work because this candle came right through, pushed straight on through it, hit my stop loss and stopped me out. That's beautiful because I know that this position was a loser, which is no biggie. So after I do that, I change this yellow area from yellow to pink, right? Because now I know I had a losing position to start off my first GBP USD order block position for December. All right, so let's move on. Next time we saw an order block right here, right? We saw this impulsive move breaking this previous support line. Now this is a support line. Why do I say that? Because if I take a simple horizontal line like this, we can see support, support, it broke through it, support, all right, support. See, 4 times it was a support line, came back in and then impulsively broke through it. Now, yes, we could say that, well, why don't I drag the support line even lower? And that's not really breaking through any support line because this is still bouncing off of it. And it did the same thing right here. However, for higher time frame trades, this is the 4-hour chart, right? This is the 4-hour chart. And according to my rules that I use for the moving average, this orange line right here, I generally like to see the order block candle as well as the impulsive candle next to it, at least one of them touch the moving average, either cross above it or cross below it, as long as it is touching. Now, this impulsive candle wicked. It wicked right through this orange moving average. So to me, this position, it gave me an entry that I thought it warranted taking a position. All right, so that's why I jumped in. Now we can see that this level was broken impulsively. Okay, so what I was waiting for was a retrace back into the order block, right? And then a move away, right? So this is what we got. My pending position is always in the middle of the order block zone. My stop loss, like I say, a couple of pips above the top of the order block candle. And I always target a risk to reward of 1 to 2, which we can clearly see we got. Now, just like that. Yes, we could have held on for much more profits. Yes, we could have held on. I mean, this would have given us, this just went lower and lower. However, that doesn't happen all the time. So I have to take my profits according to my trading strategy rules. And my rules say take profits at 1 to 2 RR, which is what I did. So this was a winner. Now, if we are risking 1% per position, we can see we are already up. Now, we have only had thus far 2 trades in December. One being a loser, one being a winner. So far, we are up 1%. If you have a large enough capital size, if you are trading a large enough fund, whether that be through your own money or friends and family or a prop firm, whatever you are trading, if the size is large enough, right, being up 1% is still decent, right? But we obviously want more because the goal of trading is to create income, right? And if you are only trading $100, a $1 win so far in almost 2 or 3 weeks is not going to do it, right? A 1% win is not strong enough because we lost one and we won one. Okay, let's carry on moving forward. We had another winner right here. We can see that we had our order block candle, this blue candle right here, as well as the impulsive candle, which was 2 candles, right? 2 candles was the impulsive move, 1, 2, which broke this previous support right here. We can see this is a continuation trade because we are making lower lows and lower highs. Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, impulsively breaking again, lower lows. We were obviously waiting for price to come back up into this order block zone. And here we are waiting for price to hit the middle of the zone right there. Stop loss a couple of pips above the top of the order block candle, which is this area right here, and targeting an RR of 1 to 2. Again, we could have taken this thing a lot lower and gotten much more, even like this. Check out that candle there, right? This would have been a 1 to 11. However, we don't know that price is going to do that. We don't know. That's why we have to have a strict set of rules, right? And for me personally, just for me personally, guys, it doesn't mean that you have to trade this way. I took profits at 1 to 2 RR. So there we go, another green block. That is our order block for right over there. Now, currently, I am in another position, right? This is today's position that opened up literally today, a couple of hours ago. Here is our order block zone. We had our order block candle. The order block candle and the impulse candle, both of them sitting nicely above the orange moving average. You can see that price came back in to the order block zone. However, it did not hit my entry. My entry is the middle of the zone, right? I liked the way that price is moving. It broke through this previous support line. It impulsively broke through. It tried to wick back into the order block zone. It did not quite catch an entry there. However, we are sitting right now in profit, just a little bit. Wicked right back into the zone. It's actually amazing to see when these order blocks work, how price respects these zones, right? I mean, look right there. This order block zone, this top wick, check what we did right here. The same thing, right? We treat the top of these zones sometimes as resistance if we are going short and as support if we are going long. So my risk to reward is 1 to 2 RR, and I am waiting for this candle to fall back down to the bottom of this trading range because we can see price is indeed inside of a trading range. Support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance, broke support, came back up into the order block zone. Let's see if we can come back down to previous support in this area right here. So far, so good. We are currently up. Let's see. What? Not even. We don't even have an RR of 1 to 1 just yet. So I'm just going to leave my risk to reward as 1 to 2. That's what I like to do. And we'll see if we have a winning position to start off 2023 with. That would be fantastic. So guys, that is how I trade my order blocks, right? We look on the left first. We have to have some sort of bias, right? We cannot trade against the trend. We should never do that. We want to be on the right side of the markets. So we can see from this area right here, from September, I'm on the daily chart now. Price finally reversed after the whole year of coming down. We finally reversed and we started to make some bullish momentum. So we started to look for long positions. Breaking out of this trend line right here, this daily trend line, we are ranging and we are dipping below. So looking for a short position right now is okay. On the 4-hour, we can see we have been making those lower lows and lower highs. So it's all about just making sure your bias is correct, making sure you are on the right side of the markets. Currently, let's see, have we reached our 1-to-1? Yes. So if we were risking 1% and we were to take profits right now, we would be up another 1%, which is a great start to the year, right? There's no harm in taking partial profits if that fits your strategy and if that is something that you have back tested, then by all means go ahead and do that. All right, so that is exactly how I trade order blocks. It is the same for Euro USD. We can see here for Euro USD, we have had, let's see, that's November, December, beginning of December. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 losers, 1, 2, 3, 4 winners. So 4 losses and 4 wins with an RR of 1 to 2. So we are up, right? We made money in December, and I have a yellow pending limit order right now. I'm waiting for price to come back into this zone because this was the most recent last order block that I saw. And I would trade this short if we do get back up into this area. If we don't, well, it's no biggie. I'll just wait around for the next one. Couple of pips above the top of the order block with an RR of 1 to 2. So that is what I will be looking out for right now on Euro USD. Trying to see if we have any order blocks at the bottom over here. And according to my rules, we don't. Some people would see maybe this region right here as an order block. However, this isn't something that I would do. Some people cut off the wicks. There's nothing wrong with this, guys. It all depends on how you trade these things, right? They would look for the bodies, just cut off the wicks of these candles. Last bearish candle before some bullish momentum. They would wait for a price retrace into this zone right here, which also falls with previous support. So nothing wrong there. Let me show you guys something interesting that happened on Euro USD. You see this area right here. I'm going to turn it yellow. This pink one right here, just for a few seconds. Let's change it back to yellow. This order block happened on the 13th of December, so a while ago now. The impulsive move upwards. Both candles were sitting nicely on the orange moving average. Everything was fine. I was waiting this entire time for price to come back into this zone. Look what it did. It came back in and it shot right on out of there. But it did not do that before what? Before stopping me out very, very quickly. See, my stop loss is always a couple of pips below the bottom of the order block candle, the extremities, which is the wick, right? So there we go. And we can see that it definitely stopped me out. And then it went on to reach target. So these things happen all the time. That's why I say backtest it, see what you are willing to risk, see how many pips you are willing to use for a stop loss. Okay, some guys will, create quite enough room, like a lot of room for price to bounce in, especially, I mean, this took a period of, the 3rd of January, the 13th, this was like over 20 days. of price waiting and waiting for these candles to come back into the order block zones. If the order block is correct, they generally will return to the order block region, right? But there's no guarantee that it will respect your stop loss and then go on to reach your target. So this was a loser, which is fine. No biggie there. The way I see losses and the way that a lot of other traders see their losses is trading is a business. You got to treat it as you are an entrepreneur, you are a business owner, right? You're going to have expenses, you're going to have to pay salaries and wages to employees, you're going to have overheads. So with trading, it's the same thing. Consider your losses your overheads. Consider your losses your salary payouts that you have to pay your employees, your expenses. The losses are the expenses of running a business. If you are the boss, you can't just make money, right? You have to spend money to make money. And losing money with trading is the same thing as your expenses when running a business. So that's how I honestly look at it, right? There's no reason to get emotional over every loss, right? If you are really serious about trading, you cannot get emotional and feel the angst with every single losing position. If you have practiced your strategy, if you have really, really taken the time to backtest it, and if you have done the same thing day in, day out, right? Showing up, doing the same thing, knowing that your strategy is consistent and knowing that it's profitable, then there's no reason for you to be scared about losing. Because you know over the long term, and I'm sure you guys have heard hundreds and hundreds and thousands of traders say the same thing. Over the long term, you know you're going to come out on top. So if you're in a bit of drawdown for the first few weeks of the year, or if you are in drawdown for a few months out of the year, or even an entire year or two, it doesn't matter, because over the long term, you come out on top, right? And that happens to the best traders in the world. You cannot be in profit all the time. It just does not work like that. Trading is a probabilities game. So when you start to think of trading as a probability game, right, as a game of probabilities, you begin to trade with zero fear. You have no emotion when trading because you're just doing the same thing. You're entering into a position, you're following your rules, you're like, great, I'm entering, is it going to win, is it going to lose, it doesn't matter. Great, this one won, great, this one lost, does not matter. We don't ever need to know the reason that the trade actually worked or didn't work, right? We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know why the pound is going down. We don't know why we don't actually know the physical reason. We can do a whole bunch of fundamental analysis and that's fine. But we won't know the reason why a particular position that we took, a particular trade worked or didn't work. We don't need to know. So why are we stressing about whether it won or lost? As long as you are following your rules, you have no reason to stress. Embrace the confrontation, and trade in a carefree state of mind. Okay? This is the way to approach trading. Write down your rules, follow your rules, make sure you enter every single position the exact same way you entered your previous position, and then just go from there. Just go from there. Okay, guys. So, on that note, let's wrap up today's video. We are still waiting to see whether this order block trade will reach profit or not. What I will do is I will post a picture of this yellow block. Once it has turned green or pink, I will post a picture on YouTube. So be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Hit that like button, please. It really helps the channel's algorithm. I want to thank you all so much for watching. I want to wish you all a happy, blessed 2023. And I will be seeing you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.